Joining me now to break this all down, it's Nick Gillespie, editor-in-chief of Reason.com and Reason TV. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So I don't like the border adjustment tax.
Neither do I.
I like buying stuff.
Yeah, you have it exactly right. That ultimately, the only thing we know for sure, because this is something that hasn't really been tried in the United States, but it's definitely going to be an import rather a tax on imports.
Yeah.
Economists will say that the value of the dollar will change so that that tax will be kind of absorbed in a higher value for the dollar. It's not clear that that's going to happen. And the other big thing about this is that it is immensely complex. This is a whole new way of taxing certain types of goods and services coming over the border. Yeah. And we already have an immensely insanely complex tax system.
Yeah.
We don't need it to be more complex. And this is new, it's untested, it's untried, and it's probably not going to work the way that it's intended.
And something that you've written about and interviewed a lot of people about, some of the sugary soda taxes and some of the sin taxes that are imposed on people, and this really isn't that much different. Because when you're talking about places like Walmart and Target, there's not going to be any crony capitalism here to shield their consumers from an increase.
Well, part of the way that Paul Ryan, who has been talking this up for 15 years or more, basically since he's been in Congress, the idea is that it plays to a populist base, because what it does is if you're using products that are from the United States and farmers like this and all of that, because it gets rid of export taxes and whatnot, or it's free to export stuff. The idea is that people will work in America more and they'll use American-made products to make their stuff. What that misses is exactly what you're talking about. Places like Target, places like Walmart, these are the two biggest importers essentially in America, and they're bringing in cheap goods that actually go to the people that populists often say they represent. And if you increase the cost of T-shirts, the cost of underwear, the cost of certain groceries by 20% on the front end, maybe the dollar isn't going to adjust.
And you can't necessarily get every single item in America and keep prices low. Well,
and then there's also the question, all of this is dynamic. This is going to be perceived by a bunch of other countries as an import tariff.
So what are they going to do?
Yeah, they're going to monkey around with stuff like that. And then, for me, from a libertarian point of view, part of it is also the idea of demonizing imports versus exports. And I hate to sound like Art Vandelay from the old Seinfeld show, but it's, there's nothing wrong with imports and exports. They're both necessary. They're part of a thriving economy. And what's interesting is that because Paul Ryan screwed up on the health care bill the first time around, he's lost the confidence of Trump, who would have been interested in something like this.
And he did flirt with that. He talked about it a couple times and said, I'm not quite certain about this, but now because they screwed up health care on the first pass, it seems like that door is closed, especially with the Koch brothers standing over his shoulder going, if we have a more free market solution, we got 300 or 400 million reasons why you should get on board.
And again, there's this bigger picture. Like, we're constantly trying to come up with places where can we squeeze people on taxes. You know what? We need tax revenues to pay for government services we want to pay for. We should be more straightforward about that and not say it's imports that will pay for it, not exports. Just tax everything equally and let the economy work with as little distortion as possible.
Nick Gillespie, a masterclass. Thanks so much for being back.
Thank you.